biggest stages. I mean, that's why he's the king. That's why he's here, and that's why we're still.
Introducing el orgulloso guerrero de Guadalajara, Saúl Canelo Alvarez.
He says tonight you're going to witness greatness. I wonder what they think now, because Terence Crawford undefeated in 39 fights.
Terence Bud Crawford, the world, Terence Bud Crawford.
After a whirlwind of rumors, drama, and even speculation about the fight's cancellation, the highly anticipated showdown between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford is officially back on for September in Las Vegas. But did Canelo intentionally price himself out of the fight? Can Crawford really move up 2 weight classes? And what do boxing legends like Tim Bradley think about this mega bout? Let's break it all down. Before we dive in, take a moment to like this video and subscribe. 98% of you watch without subscribing, and it really helps out a lot. All set? Great, let's get started. If you thought Canelo vs Crawford was a done deal, you're not alone. Honestly, who could blame you? What seemed like a dream match quickly turned into chaos, sending shockwaves through the boxing world. It all started with a bombshell leak. Reports from Turkey Alalshik's media network revealed that the 2-pound 4-pound kings had reached a preliminary agreement to face off in September, headlining a huge event at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. The internet went wild. Fans were hyped. Crawford, fresh off his dominant performance at 154, was ready to make history at 168. Canelo seemed all in, until suddenly, he wasn't. Just 48 hours after the announcement, the deal mysteriously fell apart. New headlines suggested that talks had collapsed with no clear reason. One day it was on, the next, it was off. No press releases, no updates, just silence from Canelo's camp, which apparently stopped responding to Alalshik's team altogether. Rumors quickly spread that Canelo had purposely backed out, leaving Saudi investors in the lurch and the boxing world on edge. Some insiders hinted that the breakdown wasn't about the contracts, it was about the money. While many debated the weight differences and legacy risks, those close to the talks pointed to one glaring issue: the reported $150 million Canelo was demanding to fight Crawford. Yes, $150 million for a single night in the ring. Even for a star like Canelo, that's an astronomical amount. Many started wondering if this was really about legacy or if there was another motive. Was Canelo pricing himself out, hoping the Saudis would back off and spare him from a risky fight with a smaller, faster technician like Crawford? Then, as quickly as it had fallen apart, the fight was back on. Alalshik wasn't going to let the biggest fight of 2025 slip away. By Thursday night, news broke that Canelo had signed a 4-fight mega deal with Riyadh Season, with Crawford headlining the marquee slot in September. Crisis averted? Or just postponed? Either way, the super fight was back on the table. But the behind-the-scenes drama had already raised questions that fans and pundits continue to speculate on. Let's be real, when the $150 million number first surfaced, jaws dropped across the industry. That's not just a fight purse, that's franchise money. And Canelo's audacious demand didn't just shift the landscape, it shattered it. While top-tier fighters typically earn $30 to $50 million for legacy bouts, Canelo walked into negotiations with a sum that even had the Saudis, famous for writing blank checks, stunned. At first, it seemed like a classic power move. Canelo has always been the king of negotiations, a master of setting terms, dates, and paydays. By asking for a figure no other modern boxer would dare request, he essentially issued an ultimatum: either you pay the price for the biggest fight on the planet, or it doesn't happen. But beneath the headlines and jaw-dropping numbers, a different narrative started to emerge. Some insiders close to the talks suggested this wasn't just about money, it was about doubt. Sources claimed Canelo's team was hesitant about facing Crawford from the start, worried not just about the weight difference but also the optics. Crawford is undefeated, strategic, and known for making bigger opponents look foolish with his surgical precision. Was Canelo trying to back out without saying it outright? Sources close to the negotiations say even Saudi investors were caught off guard by the initial demand, not because they couldn't afford it, but because they weren't sure if Canelo really wanted the fight. A theory started to spread: the $150 million wasn't just a money grab, it was a strategic stall, public poker face. If the Saudis walked away, Canelo could claim, "I asked, they said no." But if they agreed, he'd walk away with the biggest payday of his life while still holding onto his title. In the end, Alaushik wasn't fazed. The oil-rich mogul approved the deal, locking Canelo into a 4-fight schedule through 2026, with the Crawford Showdown as the centerpiece. The money was too massive to pass up. The fight went from a boxing match to a global event, and Canelo, whether by design or sheer gamble, walked away with everything: control, cash, and headlines. But that $150 million figure still lingers like an unanswered question. Was it the price of greatness or the cost of hesitation? If greatness is forged in fire, Terence "Bud" Crawford is walking straight into the flames. Already a 3-division world champion and the former undisputed king at 147 pounds, Crawford has never shied away from risk. But this latest challenge, moving up not 1, but 2 full weight classes to face the powerhouse Canelo Alvarez, isn't just bold, it's borderline insane. Jumping from 154 pounds to 168 pounds, Crawford is attempting something few elite fighters in modern history have even dared to try. This leap isn't just about testing his chin, it's about testing his bones, his lungs, his reflexes, and his entire fight IQ. At 168 pounds, the punches are heavier, the shots land harder, and the margin for error is almost non-existent. Boxing history is filled with cautionary tales of smaller fighters trying to climb too high, too fast. Take Amir Khan, once known for his blazing speed, who was destroyed by Canelo in 2016, showing us that speed alone doesn't carry you through the heavier weight classes. Kell Brook dared to face Gennady Golovkin and paid the price with a shattered eye socket, an injury that ended his career. Mikey Garcia moved up in weight and tried to outbox Errol Spence Jr., only to be dominated. Yet here stands Crawford, daring to defy them all. His fans call it legacy chasing, critics call it hubris. But everyone agrees on one thing: the danger is real. Bud may be slick, smart, and surgical, but he's stepping into a division where one clean punch could end it all. And Canelo? He's not just a bigger man, he's a natural-born bull who's been in this weight class for years, absorbing punishment and dishing it out like a man born for battle. This isn't just another fight, it's a daring gamble. Crawford is staking everything on his timing, ring IQ, and the belief that greatness is just 14 pounds north of where he's ever ventured before. If anyone understands the risks of mismatched strategies, it's Tim Bradley, former world champion, Hall of Famer, and one of the sport's most respected analysts. When it comes to Crawford versus Canelo, Bradley isn't holding back. He's sounding the alarm. Having followed Crawford's career from the start, Bradley is both impressed and concerned, especially about one persistent habit Crawford can't seem to shake: his love for trading punches. Bud thrives on danger, constantly switching stances, baiting opponents, and engaging in exchanges. It's thrilling to watch, but against a fighter like Canelo, Bradley warns, Crawford can't afford to engage in this risky style. "You don't need to be trading shots with that bull," Bradley told Fight Hype in a recent interview. "I know you're strong, but Canelo is naturally strong, and he's been at this weight class for a very long time. He's acclimatized. You're not." That quote hit like a warning shot. Bradley isn't questioning Crawford's heart, he's questioning whether that heart might get him knocked out cold if it beats too fast in the pocket. He pointed out that Crawford's dynamic, adaptable style, often driven by bravado, could be his downfall against a methodical powerhouse like Canelo. One miscalculated exchange could be all it takes, and when Canelo connects, bones break. Bradley's advice: fight smart, not proud. Crawford must resist the temptation to prove he can withstand Canelo's power, because if he doesn't, if he trades fire with fire, he could become just another name on the list of brilliant boxers broken by the size and strength of a bigger opponent. The question looms large: will Crawford listen, or will history repeat itself in painful highlight reel fashion? While the Crawford fight takes center stage, Canelo Alvarez isn't just fighting, he's building a boxing empire. His newly signed 4-fight mega deal with Saudi Arabia's Riyadh season isn't merely a contract, it's a global tour, money-making machine, and a strategic chessboard for legacy and control. Here's what we know so far. The first fight in the deal is scheduled for May 2025 in Riyadh, likely against undefeated IBF champion William Skull. On paper, it's a tune-up, but it's an important step toward unifying the super middleweight belts before the September 2025 showdown with Crawford at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, the marquee event of the entire project. But Canelo's plans don't end there. 2 more fights are set for 2026 in Saudi Arabia's new fight capitals, one in February, the other in October. Potential opponents already in the mix include Dmitry Bivol, the man who handed Canelo a rare loss in 2022, with rumors of a blockbuster rematch. Rising British star Hamza Shiraz could also be in the running, especially if he impresses on the Bivol-Beterbiev undercard. And Chris Eubank Jr., fresh off a 2-fight deal with Turki Alalshik, might set up a massive British grudge match with Conor Benn. And let's officially close the door on those Jake Paul rumors. Canelo will not be facing the YouTube star. That circus act is officially out of the picture. With that 4-fight deal signed, it's clear, Canelo is staying in serious territory. The big names are back in the ring. This isn't just an extension of Canelo's career, it's a rewrite. He's securing legacy fights, massive paydays, and global attention, all while controlling the narrative. He's not just boxing in 2025 and 2026, he's shaping the future of the sport. When even legends can't agree, that's when you know something monumental is unfolding. The matchup between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford has sparked a whirlwind of predictions, gut feelings, and emotional bias from boxing's most respected voices. It's no longer just a fight, it's a full-on boxing debate for the ages. Mike Tyson, the embodiment of raw power, didn't mince words. Canelo's too strong. Crawford's great, but size matters in boxing. That one line echoes decades of combat truth. You can't train mass, and Tyson knows that better than anyone. Then there's Shakur Stevenson, the new school technician who's seen Bud up close, but is too smart. He figures guys out when others can't. Panic sets in when IQ is compared to Shakur's. This isn't just about weight, it's about levels. Crawford sees himself as a chess player, while others are just moving checkers. Teddy Atlas, the strategist who dissects fights, is blunt. Canelo's too big. He predicts this will end like Brook versus Golovkin, a brilliant fighter in the wrong weight class. Atlas paints a familiar nightmare, a skilled technician crumbling under the weight of a bigger, stronger opponent. But Andre Ward, a legend who's faced bigger guys and won, sees another layer: Crawford's movement and ability to adjust mid-fight. That's the real problem for Canelo. And Roy Jones Jr., whose career redefined weight jumps and knockout power, has a measured yet harsh take. Canelo's patience and power will eventually wear down Bud. These are Hall of Famers, champions, and strategists, and none of them agree. And that's what makes this fight so captivating. When even the experts can't agree, whether at the bar, in the gym, or in the studio, you know this isn't just hype. This is a collision of styles, stories, and legacies so captivating that not even the most seasoned minds in boxing can predict what will unfold. And in boxing, that's when you know you're witnessing something extraordinary. Let's be real, every super fight is a mix of spectacle and science, and this one might be the most polarizing of them all. On paper, it's a dream: 2 generational talents, pound for pound elites, facing off in a stadium under the bright lights of Vegas. But beneath the surface, a more brutal question looms: is this a fair fight, or is Bud being thrown to the wolves? The skeptics see it as a mismatch. They watch a natural 147-pounder stepping into the ring with a battle-hardened 168-pound predator, chasing greatness but facing a payday that could come at the cost of his health. They whisper that this feels like a setup, a beautiful storyline built on a physical mismatch. But for what? Legacy? Or a check too big to resist? Meanwhile, the purists see something different. They view it as a chess match, a battle of ring IQ, angles, and adaptability. Crawford is the slicker fighter. He's got better footwork, a deeper toolbox, and a chip on his shoulder the size of Omaha. His fans believe this isn't suicide, it's a chance to make history. Yet, you can't ignore the elephant in the room. Canelo isn't just strong, he's battle-tested at this weight. He's taken punches from light heavyweights and barely blinked. And Crawford? We've never seen him absorb a clean shot from a 168-pound force like Canelo, not even close. Here's the uncomfortable truth, both can be true. This is a super fight. It's also a dangerous gamble. And that's exactly why it works. That's why we're all watching. Because boxing thrives on questions without easy answers, and this one asks the biggest of them all: will skill overcome size, or will reality crush the dream? Alright, gloves off. Now it's your turn. Let's hear from the real fight fans, the comment section warriors, the group chat debaters, the diehards who live and breathe this sport. Because this fight, it's personal. It's about legacy. It's the kind of matchup that'll have you arguing long after the final bell rings. So tell us, is Crawford chasing greatness or gambling with disaster? Was Canelo ducking, or was he just negotiating like a boss? Does Bud even stand a chance at 168, or is this just another big money mismatch dressed up for the cameras? And while we're at it, who's truly the face of boxing right now? Drop your picks, predictions, and hot takes. Be bold. Be brutal. Be legendary. Let the debate begin, and remember, in a super fight like this, history doesn't just happen, it gets written by those brave enough to step into the fire. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like the video, support the channel, subscribe to Boxing is Here for the latest updates, fight breakdowns, and expert analysis, and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload.